going on, Bulls fans? Welcome into the Bulls Report. My name is Patrick Siepman, and coming up on today's show, we're going to discuss why the Chicago Bulls are truly shocking the NBA world and mainly Chicago Bulls fans. They are on a heater, 7-3 in their last 10 games. A lot of these young guys are looking good, but at the same time, the Bulls are still hurting their chances to go land a top pick in the 2025 NBA draft. We'll dive into all of it, take all angles, and highlight three players like Josh Giddey, Coby White, and Matas Buzelis. But before we start, be honest with me. How do you feel about the Bulls winning games right now? Because in the moment, and if I have a narrow-minded mindset on the last 10 games, it feels great. Like that Lakers game was awesome, dropping 81 points in the second half. The guys were running up and down the court, but then again, at the same time, if you think big picture, every single win and every single step, more towards possibly a playoff appearance means the Bulls probably won't land a top 5, top 7 pick in the draft. So you guys be honest with me. How do you feel about the Bulls winning games? So kind of where I'm at right now. I am frustrated, and I'm not going to lie to you guys, about the Bulls being a play-in lock yet again. And they'll probably host the first play-in game against the Miami Heat. And honestly, I think they'll win that game. And I think there's a chance that they could beat either the Atlanta Hawks or the Orlando Magic in just that one game play-in game to go get the number 8 seed. But also, I will say this. It is huge what we've seen in terms of just the development from the young guys since the All-Star break. And we can start off with a guy who has impressed me the most, and it's Josh Giddey. And his numbers in the last 10 games are just frankly ridiculous. Playing the best basketball he has ever played in his career, 22.2 points per game, 10 rebounds, 9.8 assists, and 56.2% from the field. And then what were the big question marks around Giddey? Can he, be a solid three-point shooter in the NBA? Well, last 10 games, taking about 4 a night. He's shooting 44.4% from downtown. But in the Giddey almost quadruple double game against the Los Angeles Lakers, what impressed me the most was nothing he had on the stat sheet. It was his defense on Luka. And Luka still ended up hitting some tough shots. But what I like from Giddey is you saw him take that personally. He was getting up in Luka's grill, picking it up 94 feet on a couple of possessions, just hounding him all around the basketball court. And that is the one way to try to slow down Luka, all-time great talent, one of the best offensive players we've ever seen. But if you can get under his skin a little bit, get him off his game, that is a way to slow him down. So I love the three-point shooting. We obviously knew he was great in the playmaking category, especially pushing the ball up the field, up the court, and find his open teammates. But his defense on Luka that Friday night truly, truly impressed me. And I am all in on Josh Giddey being the point guard of the future for the Chicago Bulls. I think he has earned that, at least for the near future, to get that starting point guard spot for the next couple of years. But the contract's going to be so interesting this offseason, guys. And, will he get $35, $40 million? I do not know. Or will it be around $25, $30 million? I really couldn't get a good feel. And I was trying to compare him to some other point guards out there making a good amount of money. And we'll probably dive more into that on a future show. But he could land anywhere between, I think, $22 million to, honestly, $40 million a year, especially if he keeps this up. And, one thing about March basketball in the NBA, it can trick a lot of people. And we have seen the Bulls in past years trick their fan base and having great marches. And it's kind of the segue I want to take to this guy right here, Coby White, because for a second straight March, he is almost averaging 30 a game in this month. And I think we see a lot of NBA teams kind of check out during this time of the year, and I forget what article I was reading, but it was saying a better indication to playoff and long-term success actually comes the first month of the season compared to the last month. But in this last month, Coby White's on a heater. 29.4 points per game, 4.6 rebounds, 3.9 assists, and he's shooting pretty efficiently as well. Now, from beyond the arc, he can have games where he goes 2 for 10, but I love Coby. He's using his body a lot more physical, getting to the rim, kind of overpowering these smaller guards, which is something that, we really haven't seen him do to start his career. And listen, Josh Giddey and Coby White, if they can just become serviceable defenders, this is truly an elite backcourt because, number one, I love their combination of their games offensively. Giddey, obviously, he's not the guy that wants to go take 20, 25 shots a game. He probably wants to be around that 12 to 17 range, get his teammates involved, and just make the right play every single time. But then Coby White, on the other hand, he's got that flamethrower where it's like, hey, if I have a mismatch, I'm going to go expose that defender. I'm going to try to get the best shot possible for me, which, for the Bulls over the last 10 games, it's been the best shot for the team with the confidence he is playing in. But I still have my doubts on these two. Can you be a good enough defensive team with Coby White and Josh Giddey? Now, ideally, you do have a guy like Matas Buzelis, who we'll talk about here in a second, where he's an elite wing defender, but you would hope to have that anchor like an Anthony Davis type at the rim. Now, those are very hard to find, but I think you would want a defensive-minded big next to these two in the backcourt. But I think the question starts becoming this offseason, and, what will the Bulls do with Coby White? And I think his market will be a lot higher than we think. Like, I could see a team like the Orlando Magic tossing the Bulls maybe a first, a young player, a first, and a protected first. So I'll ask you guys, will the Bulls trade Coby White this offseason? Give me a T for trade or give me a P for pass. Now we'll dive into the rookie sensation, Matas Buzelis, here in a second. But first off, I want to tell you guys about today's presenting sponsor, and that is Prize Picks. Now, if you guys download the Prize Picks app today and plug in that promo code CLNS, you guys will get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use promo code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Now, what is Prize Picks? Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action with over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings. Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least two players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks. If you guys are trying to make one of these Bulls games a lot more interesting, creating a Prize Picks lineup is a great way to do so. You just pick 2 to 6 players, choose more or less on their projected stats, and you guys can start putting some cash in your back pocket and put your basketball knowledge to the test. So download the Prize Picks app today. Use that promo code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Download the Prize Picks app today. Plug in promo code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Got that link for you guys in the comments section and description of today's show. But massive shout out to Prize Picks for sponsoring today's show. Prize Picks, run your game. All right, I want to do a little deep dive on, honestly, my favorite player in the NBA right now, Matas Buzelis. And I say that wholeheartedly. This guy is the most fun to watch, in my opinion. Mainly it's just obviously I'm a Bulls fan, and you finally have a rookie we get to look forward to playing every single night. And early on in the season, wasn't getting a lot of tick in the rotation. We knew that, and we all had issues with Billy Donovan and how he handled that situation. But the last 10 games, he has been really, really solid. And, obviously he had that 30-point outburst against the Los Angeles Lakers where he put that nasty behind-the-back move on Luka, had him spinning around, then he went and dunked on his head. It was an awesome play by the rookie, but 12.3 points per game, 3.9 rebounds, 1.3 assists, and he's never really been like a true focal point in the offense. He has mainly just kind of been a connecting piece offensively, but he does have a ton of flashes, and that's kind of what I want to get to here. Just my Buzelis takeaways, and the one shocker for me is the elite handle he has. Like just specifically like that move on Luka, that behind the back, or that one pickup dribble he had on Nikola Jovic of the Miami Heat. Like his handle is a whole lot better than I thought it was going to be. And I think that's key in terms of how he's going to develop his game in the future. Because if he can get there, that one dribble pull-up, use his broad shoulders, get a bump, and if he could develop a mid-range game, having an elite handle will definitely help that. And, the freak athleticism from him is just awesome to watch on both sides of the floor. This guy is trying to dunk everything offensively. He's a very aggressive driver of the basketball, and also defensively, him flying around, blocking shots. I mean, he's one of the best wing defenders already in the NBA, and another big concern we had from him was his jump shot. And I understand, last 10 games, only shooting 29% from 3. If you haven't been watching the Bulls, you probably be freaking out. Or not freaking out. You probably just say he's not a good shooter. I disagree. He's got the same form, the same base, and the same release point every time, and he shoots it with confidence. I think it is as simple as this. It's going to be just a reps thing and a confidence thing from Buzelis. But I would be very confident in saying he will be a 35+% three-point shooter throughout his career. And probably my favorite takeaway I had from him, I always knew he had some swagger and just a chip on his shoulder, like that one clip of him and Cooper Flagg playing one-on-one. He was just jawing back and forth at him. But this guy's not scared of anybody in the NBA. Like, he is like, when he had Luka on him one-on-one, he said, "This is a mismatch for me. I want everybody to clear out. I'm going to go make a move and go get a bucket." Like, having that confidence, having that swagger, it really does matter, especially for a young guy in an organization that, hasn't been well ran over the last couple of years. Just having that confidence in yourself could really spark his development. And, like I already said, this guy's a top tier defender, and I think he's only going to get better as he puts more weight on his frame because, he can get kind of pushed off a little bit when he's driving to the rim, but that super long wingspan, and he's also an elite off-ball, like help side defender. Something I loved, and it's just going to come down to, he's a good on-ball defender. If he can become a great on-ball defender, great off-ball defender, we could be looking at like an Evan Mobley type of defender, in my opinion. Like, I see that potential with him with just like his frame, his athleticism, and that want to on the defensive side. But I'll ask you guys this. Who is your pro comp for Matas Buzelis? I already kind of teased mine. I see a lot of Evan Mobley in his game. Maybe with a little bit better of a handle, and if he can just develop that jump shot like Mobley has, I mean, the Bulls could be sitting on one of the better 3-4s in the NBA for the next couple of, for hopefully actually the next 10 seasons. And he keeps on, developing with our Chicago Bulls. But hey, I'm also on Twitter at Pat Siepman is the Twitter handle. Give me a follow over there. I'll give you guys a follow right back. See you guys next time. As always, go Bulls.